And welcome to Mr. Collins's video tutorial on how to reference like a pro, featuring me, Mr. D. Collins. So what is a reference? When you research a topic for an assignment, you may use ideas or information from a number of sources, including books, articles from journals or newspapers. A lot of you will be using websites. Now that's from an author, Citipointe, 2006. Well, I shouldn't say author because it's actually my own words. I just used the information that I got from a journal article, the Literacy Skills Journal. He had the title referencing ? You can see more information in my bibliography at the end there. What this is called is an in-text reference, so you can get the basic information in text. I've gone on to say that Dr. Paul Tester, 2008, from the University of Newcastle, defines referencing as, and you can tell this is a direct quote from him because I've included the double quotation marks here, a way of showing what sources you have used, giving credit to the original authors. And this I got from a website. The website was the University of Newcastle. There's the URL there. The title of the webpage was what he's referencing, and it was written in 2014, Tester, P. Now, what you've seen here is the Harvard style of referencing used at Harvard University and all across the world. There's other ones, APA, Chicago, numbered. You'll remember numbered from Wikipedia, and it's good, but it doesn't give information in text very well, and that's why we don't use the quick and easy Wikipedia way. You have to look, you can see the differences is all the same references there, but they're just in the different styles, depending on the style we use. But we use Harvard. So why do we reference? Well, if you reference, it makes you appear smarter. I should say more intelligent. And the way you do that is you quote leaders in the field. So if you can quote a leading university professor, maybe a doctor, maybe an author of a famous book, it makes what you're saying very valid, very interesting. It also shows, if you're referencing well, that you've used reliable sources. You're not just using Wikipedia or how stuff works, but you're using maybe a government website or an education website, .edu, .gov, from a prestigious university government website. It also shows that you're not making the facts up. Because here's the thing, in year 7, 8, 9, any time in high school, you can't just say anything that you want. Unfortunately, you have to have that verified by someone who's in the field, someone who's a leader. So it shows also how new or old your information is. You can see here, this one was 2006. That's getting a little dated now. It's 9 years ago. This one's 2008. Well, not so dated, but it depends on what you're talking about. See, if you're talking about medical advances, then something in 2006 might be a little bit old. But if you're talking about history, then something from 2006, that's pretty good. And finally, it gives others credit for their ideas, avoids plagiarism, and it respects those who've gone before you. What is plagiarism? Well, plagiarism is when you use someone else's work without giving them any credit, like a high five for what they've done. Now, that's actually a serious problem. And even if you have kind of given them credit, but you haven't done it properly, it's what's called plagiarism. And you can find out some information about plagiarism or academic integrity under year 7, moving right along, academic integrity tutorial. You can watch some videos, you can do a plagiarism quiz at the end there. We've got that set up for you. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. Let's talk about in-text referencing. So you can see here, in the main body of my text, I made some in-text references. What were they? They were the most important information that the reader could get as they read. It tells them who wrote it, how old it is, and where to find it if it's a book, the page number. So if it's a website, well, it's just usually one page, so you don't need to include that. So you just go the author, year. Always just their last name. Never their first and last, just their last. Make sure you capitalize their name, because it's their name after all. So Brick, 2012. If it's a book, you go author, year, and then you can tell them where to find it, what page it's on. The P stands for page 9. Hot tip 1. If you've already used the author's name, just include the year. You can see I did that for the second reference. This time, I didn't include, just like the first time I included the name, the second time, since I'd already mentioned the name in my standard writing, I just put 2008 there. Now notice, I could actually also put that at the end. You don't have to put it at the end, but just put it in a place where it makes sense, where it doesn't really distract from the overall paragraph. Hot tip 2, if you can't find the author, use the name of the organisation of the web page instead. If it's a really long web page, you might like to even abbreviate that into the acronyms of it. Okay, finally, let's go to the bibliography or reference list. This is the end, so others can see more details about the reference if they need to. And what I recommend is you actually do this when you're looking at such a example, Wikipedia. Wikipedia, not a good website to quote yourself, but sometimes it does quote some good articles. So you can actually have a look at the references that Wikipedia gives and then use those. And maybe those will then have some further good references. So that's why we have a bibliography or reference list at the end. You can see this one here. Oh, this one here was 2006. I can search for that literacy skills journal, find referencing. It's on page 48, no, pages 45 and 92. It's the 48th article, edition 1. Now, this one, here's the URL there. Okay, so you're ready to start referencing. Let's go across to an example on if you're on a Windows PC. So if you're on a Windows PC, then you have a really cool tool on the Word app. It's on the referencing tab. Normally it's on home, you click referencing and you can start a reference there. Now we've got a little tutorial which gives you a little bit of information on Blackboard. You go to course assessment, moving right along, assessment assistance. Have a read of all this information, but then point 5 says, gives a link to a handout, referencing using Word. And it shows you how to reference using Word. What I'm going to do is run you through what that says. Let's go back to Word. So, the heart is a living pump which circulates blood around the human body. Where did I get that from? I got that from Popular Science, this article here. If I want to include a new citation, then I go to References, click here. It'll start off with APA 5th edition. We don't want to use that style. We want to use Harvard. So I click Harvard. Then I click Insert Citation, add a new source. Now the author of the website is Dan Bowell. He wrote it on March 1st, 2012. Okay, so author is that. Name of the web page. What was the name of the web page? No Pulse, How Doctors Reinvented the Human Heart. Copy and paste. The year was 2012. The accessed was 2015. The month accessed was March. The day accessed, what's the date today? 24th of March. And my URL is here. Copy and paste. Bob's your uncle. Happy days. Boom. Look. Author. Year. Now, if I finished and I want to insert the bibliography reference, I click that and it's not coming. Oh, I click the bibliography here. Oh, this one's cool. If you want to insert that same type of citation again, you just have to click which one you want and it'll give it to you later on. So you only have to do that once, which is the beauty of the Word app. But if I want to go to the bibliography, click that and then insert bibliography. And look at this. What I've just done has come up in the correct format with all the commas and the dots in the right place. Now you could learn how to where this comma goes, where that comma goes, but I think it's better to use one of these. Now let's say that you're on your iPad at school and you've got that same document up but you haven't done the referencing yet. How does living pump which circulates blood around the body? Well, unfortunately the Word app doesn't have that referencing tool. Can't see it up the top there. This is what I recommend you do. So you open up Safari, and then you go to, got the document up there, you go to Cite This For Me. Click on Cite This For Me. There's lots of generators. I find this one's really, really good. I want to refresh that page. So I've just tested it before, and I might get rid of that reference. Okay, so you can see it fresh. Delete. Come on, delete. Yes. So we're fresh. I've got nothing. What you do is you click up here to website, since this is a website one. And the beauty of this is that if I then copy and paste the URL, paste that in there, press auto cite, then it'll automatically find it for me. You do have to check it. Look, year published 2015. Remember, it was actually 2012. Page title's correct, website name's correct, URL's correct. Okay, I can click add reference. Add reference, come on, there we go, got it. Look, it's given me the reference, and now if it's not coming up, see, it's a bit of a weird style here. I don't want the American style, I want the Harvard style. So I'm going to click the Harvard style, and it'll change that into the Harvard style. So I've got my in-text reference, Australian Popular Science 2012, my bibliography is there. Notice it hasn't actually got the author's name there. Hasn't got the author's name there. So I might like to click edit and then edit it, add the author's name, so that will change the author's name. Because if you don't put in an author, it'll just put the name of the website there. So there you go. Here's Mr. Collins' tips on how to reference like a pro.